our Wednesday night session. We had to change our plans just a tiny bit. Norman wasn't able to get with us, so I'm shifting gears a little, and I'm going to use a couple of students, and we're going to talk a little bit about this experience with this having to stay home for a couple of weeks. Tell everybody who you are. I know probably everybody knows, but go ahead.
Hi, I'm Abby Smith.
And you are a
12th grader, senior.
Senior. Are you worried about graduation?
Yes.
What are your fears?
That we're not going to get to do it like we've planned on doing it, all of school. So.
Does it make you sad that possibly you may not get to go back and see some of your friends again?
Yes.
So it's kind of tough. I mean, this is supposed to be your best year, and you're going to miss half of it, right?
Yeah.
So I asked you kind of before we started, what have you been doing with yourself? So what are you doing at home? How's that been so far? What are you doing?
Kind of trying to get back to some things I haven't done for a while, like making art, playing music, and, reading the Bible a little bit. Some things I haven't had much time to do. So. When
I asked you this question before, you said, I'm bored out of my mind.
I have been bored, very bored still.
So Abby, you don't have a sibling at home,
yeah.
So you're basically home by yourself. Are your parents at work?
Yes, but for a few days they haven't been, so.
So it's been some lonely times,
yes.
hasn't it? I asked you kind of when we were talking a little bit before, I said, if there was one thing or some things that you had learned from spending this much time at home, and it's not just spending time at home. You can't go hang out with friends, yeah. And you can't go. You had a job. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming you haven't been able to work, yeah. So you can't work. You were in the band, and you had other things you were doing. You can't do. I mean, you had a lot of stuff going on,
yeah.
And suddenly you have nothing.
Yeah.
So what have you learned from that?
Just how fast things can change and how we're not in control at all of everything.
Has it been a bad experience?
Yes and no. I go back and forth. I'm okay with it, and then there's so much that, it feels like we're missing at the same time. And it seems kind of unfair,
So what do you think you missed the most?
Just seeing everybody. And
you told me you weren't an alone type person.
Yeah.
You need people.
Very lonely.
You said something crazy to me when we were talking ahead of time. You said you missed something that you didn't think you would ever miss. What was that?
School.
I don't know about you guys, but Abby's missing school. I think maybe some of you guys are. And did you realize how busy you were before this happened?
Yes.
But it's really evident now. Was it good to get some rest?
Yes, it's good. It's kind of crazy how I was just thinking how right before the break I was just so busy and just ready to be done, and now get a break from everything, and now it seems like I might not get to go back and kind of regret feeling that way.
Do you feel rested now?
Yes.
Are you staying up really late and getting up really late?
Yeah, my sleep schedule's very off.
I think everybody's sleep schedule's all messed up. We're not even getting up till lunch or something. So if we do go back to school, nobody's going to be able to function. Everybody be asleep. Well, if you could give one piece of advice to the students, what to do or what you can get from this, anything you would like to share, I want to say this to the students about this, what would you say?
I just think, try to use your time wisely and know that you're not in control and you can't be, but just try to connect with God and find comfort in what's going on right now.
Got to live in the moment, don't
yeah.
you? Well, I appreciate Abby coming, singing the song. I asked for the song. It's my favorite song, and she did that for me. So thank you, Abby, and we'll talk more in just a minute. Sitting here with, tell everybody who you are.
I'm Tobias. I'm in 10th grade.
All right. So we've been talking about what you're doing with yourself during this break. So what's this little several weeks of sitting at home? What's that doing to you, Tobias?
It's really boring. But most of the time, me and my brother just try to hang out, play basketball in the front yard sometimes.
So, as Abby said, she said she didn't think she could ever be this bored. What do? You say you're hanging out playing basketball. You live in our neighborhood. I've seen y'all running up and down the street some. You were telling me there's something else you guys have been doing. What is that?
Today, me, my dad, and my brother, we mowed 2 yards today.
And y'all are just doing that to help people, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're just trying to find ways to plug in and to help out. You were really involved in school. You were playing sports, track, you had baseball just fixing to start. And I know baseball's been such a huge part of your life. How is it not having baseball?
It's terrible. I've been stressing about it.
You ready to get back, or stressing about the fact that you're losing ground physically, or what do you think?
I don't think I'm losing ground. It's just like ready to be with the team and play.
You miss that companionship of doing. Is there something that surprises you that you missed that you didn't think you would miss, that now that you've had this break, you're like, man, I really miss this? Is there anything like that, or?
Well, not really, except for when we got to work for online classes. It was way harder than being in actual school.
So do you think you missed school?
Maybe a little bit.
That's a hard thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there anything positive that's come from this break for you, or maybe your family?
It's really been about the same.
So you're not spending more time with them, or your brothers, or anything like that?
Well, me and my mom just completed a 1,000-piece puzzle, so
Was that
fun.
y'all's first one?
Yes.
So it has forced you to spend time with your family in a way that you normally wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
Yes.
So you managed to find something positive and something that really stinks and is very boring, right? So are y'all going to play baseball, you think?
They said the board decides tomorrow whether we go back to school, and based on that decision, it's...
So it could be over. This could be what would it be like if this was the end of the baseball season?
I play in the summer, so...
So you'll play then, right? All right. Well, Tobias, thank you for taking time to answer these questions. I appreciate it. If you could tell the youth group or young people one thing you've learned from all this, one piece of advice or wisdom, what would you share with them? Anything?
I don't know.
I caught you off guard, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Stay safe and help each other out.
There you go. All right, thank you.
Taylor, I'm in the 10th grade.
And Taylor's very excited about doing this video, aren't you?
Yes.
So Taylor, in this extended break you've had, if you could sum up how it's been in one word, how's it been?
Long.
All right. Are you enjoying yourself with all this extra time off?
Yes.
How do you occupy your time?
I clean my room and I watch TV.
So I interviewed a couple other people, and they said that they were bored. Have you felt bored?
A little bit, but not really.
So what's been the most fun thing you did on your break?
I finished a TV show.
Oh, exciting, right?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say online school.
Oh, no.
Are you liking online schooling?
No.
No, not too much. Has there been anything positive that's come out of this that you thought, wow, I'm glad we did that?
Rest. Being able to rest.
Why did you need that?
Because I hadn't stopped playing volleyball since last school year. And I was just doing so much, and just being able to rest and not have something every weekend was nice.
Did you realize you were that busy before all this happened?
No, I didn't really know I was that busy.
So it was kind of good to slow down and just to heal your body a little bit, right?
It was really nice.
Do you miss all the sports and things that you were doing?
I do. I miss it a lot.
What do you think you miss most out of everything?
Volleyball.
And what was something that surprised you that you missed?
School. I kind of miss it a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But
Not
the
school.
work. But see my friends.
The friends,
yeah.
right? If there's a positive thing, you said rest. If there's one thing that you could share with everybody that you learned from this time, this experience, what would you tell them?
Just to relax a little bit. Because I know everyone's all bored and everything and wanting to do stuff. But take this time to relax because we're going to go back to school and it's going to get busy again.
This will be over soon, won't it?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. This is kind of the Wednesday night devotional part. We did an interview with Abby and Taylor and Tobias and just kind of get their feel on what the break has been like for them. I think all of you guys would agree that there's been some things that were positive and some things that were negative. There's some things that surprised you about the break. You found that you were tired and you didn't know it, or that you actually missed school and school had some bearing on your life. I began to think about what could I share with you guys tonight. And there's an old expression, when life gives you a lemon, you need to make lemonade. And I think when I think back looking at YouTube videos where parents have, you can go look at this, where they give babies a lemon and they let them lick a lemon. and you can see the expressions on babies' faces when they get that lemon, or a little kid when they eat it for the first time. They're like shocked about how bad it is. Life gave us a lemon, and the choice is, do we just get shocked by it and just think that's awful, or do we then put some sugar and some water with it and make something good out of it? I think that you saw that each of these guys said, hey, there was some negative things and I've been really bored, but on the other side, it's really changed the way I think about some stuff. There's a story in the Bible that kind of applies to this, and this story is in Matthew chapter 8. It says Jesus got into a boat and he started across a lake with his disciples. Now, Jesus had been doing all kinds of miracles, and they had been watching him do all these amazing things. And it says, suddenly a fierce storm struck the lake and waves began breaking into the boat. I love that suddenly. If you guys think back, just 2 weeks ago, we were going on spring break. We were having fun, and we were thinking about all the things, school, the end of the school year. You guys were getting ready to play baseball. Softball was gearing up. Track was coming around, and we were getting into a new season in band where you had some contests coming up. I just know there were a lot of things happening, and it was just an exciting time. And then almost overnight, everything changed. And that's kind of how life works. You guys will be telling stories about this time in your life. When you have children, you're going to go, I remember that year where they canceled school halfway through the school year. So I just want to point out that that's kind of how stuff happens. It just happens quickly, and you've got to decide how you're going to respond when something hits you that quickly. It said, suddenly a fierce storm struck the lake and the waves breaking the boat, but Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him up, shouting, Lord, save us, we're going to drown. A lot of people freaked out when this coronavirus thing happened, and they're still freaking out. You still can't buy toilet paper at Walmart. It's the craziest thing ever. People are watching news and soaking stuff up, and you hear this and that. There's people that are in a panic all over the world and in our country, and I'm not saying it's not something to panic over, but I think we forget one very important thing, and that is Jesus is in control. In the midst of all that, they could literally see Jesus at the end of the boat. How could they possibly think, after everything that they saw, that Jesus wasn't going to take care of them? Now look, I know some of us are in bad places. I know some of you have been laid off, and some of you have lost your jobs that you had. Some of you students feel isolated at home. Your parents are struggling. I get it. It is a terrifying time. And it would be very easy for us to panic like they panicked. But when they woke Jesus up, Jesus said this, and I think he's saying it to all of us, why are you afraid? You have so little faith. Why are you afraid? Because the God we serve can take care of our finances. The God we serve can take care of our health. The God we serve will help us get through this school year. It may not look the way we want it to look. Seniors, you may not get to finish your senior year out the way you thought you were going to get to finish your senior year out. You've been given a lemon, but you can make lemonade out of it. What did Tobias say in his video? He said that they were out mowing and helping people. They were going and doing with friends and neighbors. And I know that Taylor has a friend that's moved, and she's went over several times and helped them with the moving. There are things you can do. You don't just have to sit and be bored or sit in a dark room and be social. Tobias said he worked a 1,000-word puzzle with his mom for the first time. That's awesome. Spend time doing things you wouldn't normally do. And for you guys, like you athletes, you need to heal. Some of it is just healing. In the story, Jesus got up and rebuked the wind and waves, and suddenly there was great calm. And that's what I want to say to you guys. If you are panicking, let Jesus rebuke the things in your life that are causing you to feel this way, and feel the peace and calm of knowing that God is in control. The disciples were amazed. Now, why were they amazed? They'd seen him heal lepers. They'd seen him do these things, but they just forgot for a second. They were amazed, and they asked, even the winds and the waves obey him. The God that we serve, students, is big enough to take and handle any situation. What will this summer look like? What will the rest of this school year look like? It's a lemon, but we got to make some lemonade out of it. I miss meeting with you guys and having church with you guys, and I really look forward to the time when we get to do that. I'm looking into the possibility of doing a Zoom conference call. If you guys have that, you can put it on your phone, and at some point I'm hoping we're able to do that. I'm still trying to figure out how, from what computer I'm going to do that from, but there'll be more coming in the reminds if we get to where we can do that, where maybe we can all get together and chat. If you guys need me, you know how to get a hold of me, text me, call me. If you would like or have questions about any of this, you can always put comments and remind. I appreciate the guys that helped out with this, and I hope that the things that they shared with you guys were helpful. We'll have another one of these on Sunday night during our regular Bible study time, and we're going back to the format where we're discussing some things that bother folks, questions that teenagers have. We're going to talk a little bit about music on Sunday night. If you're wondering why Russell and Norman aren't with me, Norman's had some stuff come up. He hasn't been able to get back with me, so I'm hoping to be able to get those guys back with me soon. Thanks for listening, and God is with you. Let me pray for you guys real quick. God, just bless everyone that hears this, bless the students, and help us find positive things. Lemonade out of this lemon we've been served, Lord. Protect those that are sick and help our leaders make good choices. All these things we pray in your name. Amen.